Hello and welcome to the Royal Way here on Stadium Drive Sports. I am your host Sean Barr, where you can catch the Royal Way every Monday and Thursday right on time, every time, except for when I'm late. I apologize, life got in the way, had some car issues, my bad, but I'm here for you. I've got a wrap up of the Kansas City Royals and Chicago White Sox series. It was 5 games, including a doubleheader, and we will go over that in a moment. Hey, Stat By, I got a question for you. I'm not getting any guests on the shows. Why is that?
You're late and you can't get your lighting right.
I didn't think I was going to get a straight answer from him. He's got a mind of his own, folks. Right on. Well, let's go right on to Game 1, shall we? All right, Game 1 of 5, Chicago White Sox at the Royals. The Chicago White Sox were tied up with the Cleveland Indians for second place heading into KC to take on the Royals. We've got Brad Keller taking the mound, and former Royals champion in 2015, Johnny Cueto, throws for the Sox. Chicago gets on the board first in the third inning with a sacrifice fly. The next inning, Grandal hit a 2-run homer to make it 3-0. I saw Cueto pitching while I was at the game. I didn't know he was making his debut with the White Sox. I just saw this guy kind of pausing during his delivery. He winds up, stops, then fires the ball. I'm like, that guy pitches just like Johnny Cueto. But it was no imposter. We got the 2015 version too against us. He lasted 6 innings, so in the 8th, the Royals were able to crack the 0 off the scoreboard and tie things up. And the game went into extras. But Chicago's Luis Robert hit a 2-run home run in the 10th to have Chicago take Game 1. Let's take a look at the box scores. Yeah, several bad games there in the middle of the lineup again. We got a great game from Emmanuel Rivera. Merrifield had a good game. Bobby Witt had a decent game with a couple RBIs. I'd like to see him go a game without a strikeout. Brad Keller, he did okay. He spanned those 8 hits over 7 innings, so it's not really that bad. He just didn't get good run support, basically. Took it into extras, just couldn't capitalize. The Royals were able to make up a game with a doubleheader on Tuesday. 1 of 2, the early matchup featured Royals' Jonathan Heasley, who went 5 innings, and Dylan Cease for the Sox, who shut down the Royals in his last appearance. Dylan allowed Royals runners in every inning in his 5 innings that he pitched. Well, 5 2/3. He didn't give up a run, though. On the other hand, the only run scored came in that 5th inning, when a sac fly to left and a 2-run double by Abreu. The Royals sure had their opportunities, though. Like I said, they had those ducks on the pond. They loaded them in the 7th. But it's nothing new, all when talking about how bad the Royals are with runners in scoring position. It's like the Chiefs pooping on themselves on the opponent's 30-yard line and settling for a missed field goal. Yep, that's the feeling. 9 hits, 0 runs. Not good. Well, let's see the tale of the tale with the box score. Not too bad. You don't see any bad days at the plate. I gave everybody who got a hit a decent day, and just about everybody got a hit, except for O'Hearn. I had a horrible day at the plate. Really nothing new with him. Jonathan Heasley takes the loss. That's his 2nd. He pitched okay. Just those 3 runs given up. Other than that, it was a shutout, so can't put it on him. And Game 2 of the doubleheader, Game 3 of 5. We've had some decent pitching duels so far this series, and it surely continued in this one. Michael Taylor drives in a run with a double in the 2nd inning, which helped. Brady Singer was added as the 27th man on the roster and made his best start since September 5th last year against the same team. The guy was lights out with 9 strikeouts and no walks allowed. MJ Melendez, he contributed by hitting a 425-foot home run to right, making it 2-0 Royals. Chicago's right fielder Adam Engel grounded out to second, but A.J. Pollock scored, slicing the Royals' lead in half 2-1. But Josh Staumont earns the save, and KC manages to split the series behind a dominant performance by Mr. Brady Singer. Time for the boom boom chicka boom box scores. And again, it's bad in the middle of the lineup. Michael A. Taylor, before his injury, had a great game. If you just got a hit, you got a decent day even though you got 2 strikeouts against you. I wanted to give a bad day to Witt and Benintendi for doing that, along with Emmanuel Rivera, but give them a decent day. They got a hit. Brady Singer, can't say enough about this kid. Man, maturing quick. I'm glad he's on our team, and I'm glad he's progressing. All right, Game 4 of 5, a little hump day baseball. Zach Greinke leads the Royals in Game 4. He hadn't won a game since August 13th last year with the Houston Astros. Let's see some run support. Merrifield does just that, and he singles in a run in the second to tie things up at 1. Then Bobby Witt Jr. in the third hits his 4th home run of the year, 436 feet out to center field. Zach allowed a walk in the 5th. That was his first in 128 batters. In trouble in the 5th inning as Chicago gets a run from Anderson to tie things up at 2 apiece. But the Royals' Rivera triples to right and scores Melendez. And Kyle Isbell hits a sac fly to center to score Rivera, making it 4-2 Royals. To cap the win off for the Royals, MJ Melendez drives a ball 428 feet to center field, scoring Dozier. Colin Snyder gets the win as the Royals win back-to-back games 6-2. Woo, go Royals! Alright, let's take a look at those scores in the shape of a box. Or a square. Hey, a lot better. If we could just pretend that we don't see Carlos Santana in this lineup, we're a great looking team right now. 4 decent, 2 good, 2 great, and Carlos Santana. Zach Greinke, 7 hits, 2 runs, earned, 1 walk, 4 K. It's a shame he gave up that walk after 128 batters. He could have kept that streak alive. Got 100 pitches in. Decent day. All right, the finale of the series versus the White Sox features bummy Carlos Hernandez, still learning his way in the majors, and Vince Velasquez for Chicago. Casey jumps out to a 2-run lead in the first from a Dozier home run that scores Bobby Sev. In the second, Nicky Lopez doubled in a run. Both teams score 1 in the third to make it a 4-1 game Royals until the bottom of the 4th when Anderson singled in a couple runs to let Chicago within 1. In the 6th inning, Robert ties the game up at 4 with an RBI single. The Royals couldn't get to Chicago's bullpen, as the only scoring would be from the White Sox from here on out. With an RBI single in the 7th and a home run in the 8th to cap things off for the Chicago White Sox, who win the series 3-2 in the best-of-5 showdown here at Kauffman Stadium. Who needs to work more? Who do we blame? Let's take a look at the box scores. Let's take a look at the game. We see Whit Merrifield, Emmanuel Rivera, and the new guy Rivero. Bad games. Hunter Dozier, great game. Everyone else, good games. Very good. Hernandez, 9.10 ERA, 5 walks, 3 Ks. Somebody tell that guy you want to get more strikeouts than walks. Alright, that brings us to the Royal Way Player of the Series, and it goes to Brady Singer. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the division standings. Well, as long as the Detroit Tigers keep losing with this, we'll find ourselves out of the basement. The Minnesota Twins lead the division 22-16 with a 21-plus run differential, which is a lot better than anyone in the division. The Royals' run differential looks ugly. All right, next up on the Royals schedule, who do we play today? If you don't know, we are playing the Twinkies. Yes, Royals versus Twins. Minnesota comes to Kauffman, and the games are at 7:10, 6:10, and 1:10 on Sunday. The Royal Way News Break, brought to you in less than 1 minute. Alright, so the Cleveland Guardians lose their star third baseman Jose Ramirez after he fouled a pitch off right below the knee, above the shin guard. Yeah, those hurt. He just signed a 7-year, $141 million contract extension on this year's opening day. And the Guardians head coach, Terry Francona, is having some surgical procedures done. The team will be without him as well. Of course, Salvi is out with a few injuries, mainly his thumb recently. Also, the New York Mets ace Max Scherzer is out for 6 to 8 weeks with an oblique injury. The Mets still have high hopes for the postseason as they win the next game in extras off a Pete Alonso 10th inning walk-off home run. Finally, Kelsey Wingert A reporter for the Colorado Rockies is recovering after being hit with a 95-mile-an-hour line drive to the head. She spent 5 hours getting stitched up like a baseball. Poor girl was also struck on the right eye socket from a foul ball while covering games for the Atlanta Braves in 2018. Hey, StatBot, what do we gotta do?
Get better at the show.
No, we gotta go to commercial. That's what we gotta do. We gotta go to commercial.
Have you eaten your beef today? Royal food for real people. Sponsored by George Brett.
Go Chiefs!
Hey there, I'm Kevin, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports.
Man, I don't know why the coach won't put me in. I'm riding the bench. Gosh. At least stick me out in right field. Man, you know you're not in because coach knows you didn't watch the Royal Way. Stay in the game and watch the Royal Way every Monday and Thursday. Are you still watching? It's now time for the Royal Way's Best to Ever Wear It Awards. We are on the number 19. And the nominees are Lloyd Bannister, Jeff Conine, Brian Bannister, and Chesler Cuthbert. And the winner is Lloyd Bannister. Comment your vote below for the Best to Ever Wear 19. Well, it's the Royal Way joke of the day. A guy showed someone his dog could talk, so he asked the dog, "What's on a house?" "Roof." "What's the opposite of smooth?" "Roof." "Who's your favorite baseball player?" "Roof." The viewer walked away unimpressed. As he left, the dog asked, "What, should I have said Benintendi?" Did you know the Royals and Yankees hold the AL record for the most doubles in one game with 19? Yep, KC hit 11 in that game and New York hit 8. It's trivia time. Which KC Royal wore the number 12 between 1992 and 1995? Was it A, Wally Joyner, B, John Wathen, C, Michael Tucker, or was it D, Jimmy Gobble? Make your selection. It was A, Wally Joyner. Wally World. Wally Joyner played first base for KC. He had a 16-year career from 1986 to 2001. He played 4 seasons with the Royals. Guess who? I was born February 28, 1981. I am currently the director of pitching for the San Francisco Giants. I previously served as assistant pitching coach and vice president of pitching development for the Boston Red Sox. I played college baseball as a walk-on at USC. I was selected in the 7th round of the 2003 draft by the New York Mets. My MLB debut was on April 5, 2006 for the Metropolitans. The next year I went to KC to pitch from 2007 till 2010. I was 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting in 07, threw a complete game 4-hitter that year. Hint, a South KC mall that no longer exists. Not in the same year, but my father and I, while pitching for Kansas City, wore the number 19. I am Brian Bannister. The Royal Way takes you through the years with the Kansas City Royals, and we're on the year 1986. The Royals came down from their World Series high in 1986, finishing 3rd place in the AL West. This would end an era of a great run for the Royals through the 70s and early 80s, where we saw several division titles. Let's take a look at the division standings in the AL West in 1986. And like I said, the Royals took 3rd place with a 76 and 86 record, 16 games out from the California Angels, went 92 and 70. And Dick Howser, he goes half the year. Mike Ferrero takes over after the All-Star break. We'll get into why. We got Sundberg, Brett, Balboni, Saberhagen, White, Salazar is the new shortstop, Motley Wilson and Lonnie Smith in left. 1986 Royals starters were headed by Charlie Liebrandt, went 14-11. Dennis Leonard, Danny Jackson, Mark Gubazar, Brett Saberhagen, and Scott Bankhead went with a 6-man rotation this year. Each man went at least 120 innings. 1986 Royals relievers. Dan Quisenberry, only 12 saves. He's used to getting about 35 of them. His ERA was still down, but his wins were down as well. The 1986 Royals offense. George Brett led the team in batting average. Steve Balboni led with 29 home runs and 88 RBI. And Willie Wilson led the team in hits. Not very productive on the offensive side of the ball. And the Royals allowed the fewest runs, though, when it comes to defense, with 673, but they were ranked near the bottom in runs scored, and they had the 3rd best attendance in the AL. So they had the support the whole year, but they didn't produce. On June 2nd, 1986, the Royals drafted Bo Jackson in the 4th round. Kevin Seitzer is a new name as well and hit .323 in 28 games. George Brett wins the Lou Gehrig Award, and Dennis Leonard wins the Hutch Award for pitchers. Manager Dick Howser, after managing the All-Star Game, is relieved of his duties as manager for the Royals. He was diagnosed with brain cancer. He tried to make a return to coaching the next season in '87 but was unable to. Sadly, he passed away a few months later. On July 3rd, 1987, his number 10 was retired. 1986 would mark the end of a great era in KC Royals history. They sure did have a good run through the 70s and 80s, like I said. And it was just a depressing season with our head coach being gone like that. Here's a look at the 86 playoffs. You had the Astros and the Mets in the NL, and the Red Sox and the Angels in the AL. The Red Sox took care of them, and the Red Sox did not take care of the Mets. That's that grounder up the first base line that Buckner missed. Bill Buckner, I believe it was. The league MVPs, Roger Clemens and Mike Schmidt. Your Cy Young Award winners were Roger Clemens and Mike Scott. The ALCS MVP, Marty Barrett. NLCS MVP, Mike Scott. And the World Series MVP, Ray Knight. The All-Star Game MVP, Roger Clemens. He got decorated this year. Jose Canseco and Todd Worrell were your Rookies of the Year in 1986. And as we view the 1986 KC Royals All-Stars, it consisted of George Brett with his 10th and Frank White with his 5th. To be continued with 1987. Alright, Royals Empire, that's it. That's all the time we have for now for today's episode. Yep, all good things come to an end, even if they're bad. But I will have another episode for you on Monday with a wrap of the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals series over the weekend. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button so you can get hip to future content. That is all gravy, baby. It's a beautiful ride through this season. Don't give up now. I'm always going to be here for you right here on the Royal Way on Stadium Drive Sports. So, until Monday, I'll see you then.